standing in front of the former grave of President James Monroe. He died in New York City on 4th of July in 1831, and he was one of the first interments here at the New York City Marble Cemetery. His funeral procession was one of the longest and largest celebrations at the time. Over 100,000 mourners lined the route from City Hall all the way up to the cemetery here on 2nd Street between 1st and 2nd Avenues. The funeral procession arrived at the cemetery before the tail end of the procession left City Hall. It was that long. He had been living here in the city for a few years. After his wife died, he was living in the house of his son-in-law and his daughter, and it's the son-in-law's vault that he was interred in. 27 years later, in 1858, the state of Virginia decided that they would like to have his remains removed back to his native state. He was disinterred on the morning of July the 3rd, 1858, removed with another celebration, and 2 United States naval vessels escorted the casket, the honor guard, and all of the mourners back to Virginia for a reinterment at Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia.
Let me ask you, what is going on with this grave site now? Does the family still own this grave site?
The family still owns the vault, as each of the vaults, there are 258 of them, is owned by the family that originally bought the vault when it was originally bought. The cemetery was developed in 1831, and each of the 258 vaults was bought by one of the mercantile elite of the day: dry goods sellers, manufacturers, leather workers, sea captains, shipping line owners, that type of person. And each of the vaults is now owned by the descendants of those original vault owners. The descendants are, as I said, owners, and they're entitled to the use of those vaults as well as to participate in the management and upkeep of the cemetery. Son-in-law